Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another interview with a Leicester grad. I'm delighted to be joined by Nathan today, who's going to give us a bit of an insight into his degree at the university and all the things that he's been up to since graduating. But over to you, Nathan. Can you give us a bit of an overview of your journey and also a bit about you?
Well, yeah, thanks very much, Dan. Pleasure to be on the call with you. So yeah, my journey to university, I started at Leicester, it must have been 2014. I was one of those who went straight out of school into university, really keen to sort of find my independence, move away from home for the 3 years and sort of establish yourself in a new footing in life, not only in terms of obviously studying the course, which I really enjoyed, but also that big step of moving away from home, which I thought was probably equally as important at that stage of my life. So yeah, I decided to study geography. That was one of the A-levels which I studied at school. It was one I particularly enjoyed. I didn't really know what I was going to do when I was looking at university courses, but geography jumped out to me just because of the opportunities for field trips, particularly at Leicester. I went to Spain in my second year, included in the course as well. Didn't have to pay any extra money for that. And then the USA in my third year as well, the Mojave Desert. So those opportunities were just unbelievable, and I just thrived on that. And I thought Leicester was the perfect place to come and study. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That sounds awesome, and those field trips definitely sound right up my street. I wish I could go and study geography now. What did you really kind of enjoy about your course when you got to Leicester? What aside from the field trips, about studying in Leicester, what did you enjoy?
Well, I feel like as soon as I came to Leicester on an open day, the campus really felt quite comfortable. It was one of those places where you wouldn't feel overwhelmed with it being so big, but equally it's small enough that you can go from A to B without spending so many minutes on the road. You know, it doesn't take long to get from a lecture to a cinema, say, but it's also not spread right across the city, so you don't feel a bit alienated. It's kind of nice size. The course itself, another good sized thing. The course was a really good size. The people on the course were really friendly. The lecturers, the staff, the teaching staff that you're taught by, they just seem really friendly and inspiration as well. I think I did a taster lecture while I was at Leicester on the open day, and I found myself getting inspired even more, and I feel like that just sealed it for me in terms of applying for Leicester and making sure I put my all into the application and eventually getting my first choice, thankfully.
That's definitely sounds like you did enjoy your time doing the course. Aside from the course, what kind of things did you do within your student life? What extracurricular activities did you get up to whilst at Leicester?
Well, yeah, as I say, the sort of moving away from home, independence side of it was huge for me, and certainly going to university, there are just so many opportunities. So your world's just completely opened up to all the different societies, whether it's sports, whether it's music, literally anything you can do. You can even set up your own society, can't you? So if you're a big fan of fried chicken, say, I'm sure you could set up your own society for that. But yeah, when I was to university, I got straight involved with the chamber choir, because I did quite a lot of singing while I was growing up and playing the piano and things like that. So I wanted to keep that going while I was at university. So the university chamber choir was perfect for me. And again, that gave me that sort of personal development standpoint as well. So the first year of my university degree, I was just in the chamber choir. Second year, I took up a committee position as the tour secretary and organised a trip to Venice in Italy for the choir to go and sing there and do various other things, of course, see the sights and all that. So that was a really good personal development thing. And then third year, I was elected to be president as well. So that was a whole new thing in terms of gaining so many skills and developing as a person, having that organisation and learning how to lead a team a bit more. I mean, going to university is just so much more than a degree. Also, I got involved in intramural football. So I mentioned I studied geography. Most subjects tend to have their own sort of sports teams, whether it's football or netball, and you can get involved competing against other courses just for a bit of fun, sort of on a weekend or a Wednesday afternoon. So that was really good to get involved in. It really helps also when you're making friends on your course. Obviously, those first couple of weeks are quite crucial in terms of finding friends and people to hang around with and go for lunch with, and spend your time outside of university with as well. So I found certainly joining the chamber choir gave you a whole new friendship group here. You have your course friends here, you've got your accommodation friends here, and it's just great to be able to mingle with so many different people, and just have such a great time because you're always busy.
I can definitely relate with that, and it definitely sounds like you definitely dived headfirst into kind of life at Leicester. So you graduated a couple of years ago. Could you give us a bit of an insight about what you've been up to since graduating?
Yeah, so I graduated, I think it must have been 2017, because after that I went on to do a master's course. You might be surprised by this, but I went from doing geography in undergrad to doing broadcast journalism for a master's degree, which you might think is quite bizarre. But yeah, while I was doing geography for my undergrad, I did also get a bit of experience in student radio and student television as well. Another one of those extracurricular activities which you can just try your hand at and see how it goes. And yeah, I was also doing the Leicester Award, which is this sort of personal development skills initiative. And it gave me a lot more awareness about sort of where I actually want to go with my career, who are my role models, who would I aspire to be in the working world. And I was looking up to the likes of, Gary Lineker or whoever, Dan Walker, presenting sports coverage. And I found that quite inspirational. And I thought, you know what, I could make a go of this. This is where I could go with my career, because geography, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't particularly keen on, say, becoming a cliche geography teacher or moving into sort of more environmental things. I was keen to sort of look a bit more outside of the box. So yeah, after my geography course, I applied for a master's degree in broadcast journalism, got onto that, did the master's course up in Sheffield. It was a broadcast journalism degree, got that one, and then moved on into the world of work from there. And that was all started really by A, doing the Leicester Award at Leicester, and B, using and exploiting these opportunities at Leicester of doing student radio, student TV, trying your hand. I was presenting coverage of, say, the NUS in-out referendum debate, all sorts of things at the university. So it's great to get involved with as much as you can, and that really set me up on my career. So I did the master's degree, and then ended up just emailing someone at my local BBC radio station about any sort of opportunities, and ended up stepping in the door at BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. And so that was, say, a couple of years ago. And then moving on from there, you sort of work your way up from, picking up the phones for the breakfast show, say, doing a bit of behind the scenes stuff for the sports team, work your way up the chain, start impressing people and gaining people's trust. And then currently I'm reading the news every weekday morning and doing a few football commentaries as well. So it's been quite a quick rise from studying geography at Leicester to becoming a newsreader and football commentator. It's bizarre, but it just shows the opportunities that are there. And if you really go for them, if you're really keen to do what you want to do, then you can get there as well.
That is awesome. It's a real, like you said, kind of thinking outside the box from doing a geography degree and into a real gear change into working for the BBC and hosting the news, doing football commentary. That's really awesome. How have you kind of found that transition from kind of managing that complete thinking outside the box from a geography degree into this world of work that you've kind of entered?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it was so different, but I think you just got to keep motivated, and if you really want to do it, then you'll put your heart and soul into it and try and get the most out of it. And obviously transitioning away from university again, that was another ordeal. Once I've sort of consolidated my place in the world of work, got regular shifts, could afford to sustain myself away from home, it was a matter of finding my own place to rent near my place of work, and move on from there, really. So, I mean, life's going to throw up plenty of challenges for you along the way. I mean, we're right in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic, so I don't think there's much bigger of a challenge than that. Certainly when you're looking for a job, when you're looking to apply for universities, and I suppose that's part of the reason why we're doing this today, to open people's eyes a bit more. So I think just take on the challenges, ride them out, and just go for it, because I mean, you've got to follow your heart, I think, and if you really want to do something, then you've just got to follow your heart and give your absolute all for it.
That's such great advice. And to kind of finish, actually, if you could give one tip to a student that might be thinking about studying geography or any course, what tip would you give someone to go into kind of it, to follow your kind of trajectory from your degree into your world of work? What tip would you give?
Yeah, I think just make sure you always look at the options available to you and try and assess which one's the best. I mean, applying for your undergraduate uni is a huge step in life, and I think it's really important to make sure you really put a lot of thought into that decision and explore the opportunities. For example, whether you study at Leicester, whether you study somewhere else, what different aspects are good, what are the pros and cons. For example, the geography course at Leicester University, I particularly was interested in because it wasn't so much about really old stuff. It was more about current environmental challenges. Of course, we've got plenty of those at the moment with climate change and the field trip opportunities, the staff being so friendly and engaging. I feel like all of these factors, you could go across the student accommodation, how comfortable you feel on campus, in the city, what does the city offer itself? Obviously, Leicester, one of the more vibrant cities, plenty of events going on in Leicester all year round. So all of these things just add up, I think, and you've got to weigh them up and just assess where you'd feel best, where you feel like you'd thrive as a person, where would you get the best results from your university experience, and just take it step by step. I think you can't look too far ahead. Certainly if you'd have told me 3 years ago, stepping out of university, I'd be reading the news, football commentating, I would have laughed at you. So you just got to take it step by step and not get too far ahead of yourself, because taking it in small chunks is a lot easier and manageable, and just go easy on yourself, but make sure you try and make the right decisions, I think.
Brilliant. That's really great advice. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great, and hopefully will be really useful for students thinking about going to do geography or thinking about going into the kind of the world of journalism, kind of like you've done as well. So thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It just shows, I think, that just studying a particular degree doesn't pigeonhole you for the rest of your life in terms of that field. You can sort of hop from one field to another very easily. Now, I feel like just getting that first degree just opens you up to plenty more opportunities, even if it's outside of the subject.
I would absolutely agree. Sound advice. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Thanks, Dan.